Now, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Clive Palmer's back in the political fray, launching a new party, Trumpet of Patriots, or one that he's claimed or reclaimed, and he's trying to emulate the success, of course, of the leader of the free world. And just like previous elections, Palmer is spending up big on ads, including this one on the cost of living, featuring Trumpet of Patriots party leader Suellen Wrightson, who's described as the country's next Prime Minister. Suellen joins me now live in the studio. Good to meet you, Suellen. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Seriously? You're putting yourself up as the next Prime Minister of the country? You've never even been in Parliament.
Absolutely. Look at what we've got now. And the bar isn't very high, I must say. And you've got to aim for the stars and hope for the best. And the Australian people certainly deserve better than what they have.
So the Trumpet of Patriots are running candidates in every seat in the country then?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're aiming to do. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time left until the election, until the gun is fired to start the election. But look, we'll have some quality candidates.
You reckon you're going to 77 winning candidates? I mean, you're having a lend of us, aren't you? Who's going to be if you're going to be Prime Minister, who's going to be your treasurer?
I will decide that as we go throughout the
Who will be your foreign minister?
The election. We will have a foreign policy committee, Chris,
and you'll need a foreign minister. Who would that person be?
It might be me.
You'll be Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, perhaps Treasurer as well?
The thing is, what we shouldn't do is count our chickens before they hatch.
Well, exactly. This is why I think it's a little bit rich for you to be telling the Australian people through a lot of paid advertisements that you're going to be the next Prime Minister. It's not realistic.
They're looking for somebody else, Chris, and I'm more than happy to be that person. And we just need a sufficient number of Australians to support us, and we can make it happen.
Indeed. If you had enough votes, it would happen. I have no doubt about that. What I'm saying is the likelihood of it happening is pretty piddling. What about if you were Prime Minister and Foreign Minister? What would your policy be on Ukraine?
The weekend has been quite interesting, I might add.
Yes, but what would your policy be?
Well, it's a policy that would be developed with the input of the rest of my team.
So make me Prime Minister with an unknown team, and then after you elect me, we'll work out what our policy is.
The policy on Ukraine is that we need peace. The underlying issue in Ukraine is that President Zelensky is running out of soldiers. Hundreds of thousands of young Ukrainian men and Russians, I might add, are dying on the battlefield.
Yeah, we're aware of that. That's why I'm asking what your policy would be as Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Australia. You don't have any policy. You can't tell me what you would do.
Let's look at the current state of affairs, because you must assess the current state of affairs before you develop your policy. And foreign policy needs to respond.
No, when you're going to an election and putting yourself up as Prime Minister, you've got to have a policy on a major global issue like this. Let's go to energy policy in Australia. What's your policy on nuclear energy?
Well, the cost of living is absolutely crushing Australians
Yes,
right
it is.
now.
But what's your policy on nuclear energy?
Get it tomorrow. Lift the ban in the first week of Parliament when I'm the PM.
All right, so you're all on board for nuclear energy, getting rid of the ban. Would you support the government funding of nuclear energy, or would you leave it to the private sector?
Leave it to the private sector, because
so just get rid of the ban.
The government are hopeless at delivering projects. If we left it up to the government, it would take far too long and cost 5 times the amount. So leave it up to the experts.
And what about renewable energy then? You'd get rid of all the subsidies and all support for renewable energy?
Well, look, the capacity investment scheme is not something that is in the interest of Australians. It's in the interest of these proponents of the renewables sector projects. So
how would we power the nation while we waited for nuclear plants to be built?
Coal. Let's do what we're doing now. Let's do what we've done. Let's do what we've done for decades. That has given us reliable base load power. It keeps the lights on, and it lets us stand on our own 2 feet.